Hey guys, welcome back to New World Carpentry Solutions, and in this video I'm going to give you guys some pro tips to finish out an LVP plank install like this one. One thing I didn't do in the previous video that is pretty crucial is that you know the anatomy of an LVP flooring plank. They typically have a male and a female side, and those sides are actually duplicated on two edges of these rectangular planks. So you'll have a long edge and a short face that has a male end, and a long edge and a short face that has a female end. The female ends are typically the ones that are at the end of the row and receives the male plank that butts up against the wall. So whenever you get to the end of a row, you guys actually have to mark and cut. The only time you have to cut in the LVP install is toward the ends, the beginning, and also anytime you have a notch. But to get the lengths for all of your end cuts, you'll take your male end of your plank. Pretty much you're going to be flipping the board end for end, button the male portion up against the wall, and on the plank that you already have installed, there'll be the female tab. That tab is roughly a 1/4 inch. So if you actually butt your plank up against the wall and make a mark at the edge of that female tab, then score and snap it right there, you'll actually get a 1/4 inch reveal up against the wall, which again, because this is a floating floor, you want to margin the space all the way around your plank install. So your baseboard then covers it, but it also gives the flooring room for expansion and contraction. So by doing this marking and measuring process, you don't really need to tape measure throughout the install. It makes it go really fast, and also it's pretty efficient. The one thing you guys do want to keep track of though is that when you guys are actually pulling your planks together or beating them in, is that I don't like to use the standard beat blocks. You guys will see me here using the offcut of the flooring plank that actually has a male end on it that I can then put into the long edge or the long female side of the planks that I already have installed and use that as a beat block. That allows me to pretty much beat all the planks together without damaging the female edges of all my planks that I already have installed. Really will suck to get halfway through a floor and you start breaking up all the female edges and your planks stop locking together. So you want to be very careful during your install process and also use the proper techniques. One thing you saw me doing here just a little while ago though, I actually had popped a line in the center of the room, and that center line actually gives me a reference so I know that my planks are all running straight and parallel with the existing wall. And after I get that confirmed, I'm able to continue going. And now I'm working back pretty much. Now that I finish off that first section, the first like 10 or 15 rows, I essentially have a rectangle locked in that I know I don't want to move anywhere. So I went ahead and laid the extra boxes of the flooring planks on top of the floor. That's going to help weight everything down. I do have the shims and spacers up against the wall, but anytime once you get enough of a surface installed, you definitely want to throw your extra planks on top of it. That gives you a much more solid surface to beat and tap on without having to worry about your floor racking or twisting after you already have your straight line established. And now we're going back into cutting starters, and you see me here actually trying to lay it out the pattern that I have down there at the beginning. You guys saw how I went from a longer plank to a shorter plank to a longer plank. Again, by randomizing your patterns like that, you get a much better look throughout the rest of your LVP install. Again, the goal of an LVP flooring is to try to make it look like a natural hardwood. So if you do a standard stair step with, a 5 foot, 4 foot, 3 foot, 2 foot, and then a 1 foot, as you look down your flooring planks, you'll see that staggered line, almost like a stair step going all the way up. So by randomizing it, your seams become more random and you get that jagged, almost natural hardwood floor looking effect. Another way to get that though, they do actually make LVP with randomized widths. I do recommend those because those actually give you a really nice look to the floor, because you can have a 4 inch wide plank and a 3 inch wide plank to a 2 inch, and it gives you a really nice look throughout your flooring install. The one thing I don't recommend though are the random lengths. Those actually throw off your patterns as you get out throughout your install. I do another floor shortly after this one that I end up having to use random lengths. Highly don't recommend. But the install techniques you see me doing here are the same ones I did earlier in the video. I'm butting the male end up against the wall, marking, flipping, scoring, and repeating. This is how you get all of your end cuts, and you saw how I cut all my starters to get all the rows going. So now I'm going to rinse and repeat this to pretty much get this these last few rows squared off. I don't record the rest of this install throughout the rest of this house, but again, I hope these tips give you guys everything that you guys need to know to do an install just like this. One thing I can recommend that I neglected myself is to wear knee pads. The wear and tear of my body is definitely starting to catch up to me. I need to, start using some of my safety tools and precautions to make sure I'm able to do this job a lot longer. But if you guys have enjoyed this process, definitely let me know down in the comments. Leave me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.